In the shadows of human history, there exists a truth so profound, so earth-shattering, that powerful forces have worked for millennia to keep it hidden from you. What I'm about to reveal isn't just another theory or speculation, it's the forbidden knowledge that secret societies have guarded since the dawn of civilization. The arrival of 3I Atlas in our skies marks the final phase of an awakening that was prophesied by history's most revered mystic, Manly Palmer Hall, nearly a century ago. The authorities don't want you to make this connection. They've buried the evidence, silenced the messengers, and created an elaborate system of distractions to ensure you never discover what I'm about to share. But their time is running out. The cosmic clock that Hall spoke of is ticking, and 3I Atlas is the final hand moving into place. You weren't meant to find this information, but something within you, that spark of true consciousness they couldn't extinguish, led you here.
This isn't coincidence. This is destiny unfolding. The elite globalist cabals controlling NASA, world governments, and mainstream science are in panic mode as the third interstellar messenger arrives exactly as Hall predicted. They're scrambling to maintain their narrative, but the cracks in their cosmic deception are now too large to conceal. The magnitude of this deception began to surface in 1928 when Manly Palmer Hall, America's greatest esoteric scholar, published his monumental work, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. What few realize is that Hall wasn't merely compiling ancient wisdom. He was recording a precise cosmic timeline that would unfold in our lifetime. Hidden within its pages, concealed in symbolism and metaphor, lay a prophecy so accurate that those in power immediately recognized its potential to awaken humanity. When the third wanderer from beyond our realm appears in the heavens, Hall wrote, "Humanity shall witness the return of those who seated consciousness in this garden of stars. The sleepers shall awaken when the third messenger passes through the gate of the sun." These weren't poetic musings. They were exact predictions of the cosmic drama now unfolding with 3I Atlas. Hall gained access to texts hidden from public view, ancient manuscripts preserved by mystery schools that detailed a cosmic cycle of awakening triggered by three specific celestial visitors. The Pentagon, NASA, and shadow organizations recognized the danger of this knowledge spreading. They systematically removed Hall's most revealing works from circulation, ensuring his most precise predictions would be forgotten or dismissed as mystical ramblings. They created a narrative that reduced him to a footnote in esoteric history, rather than recognizing him as the prophet who mapped the exact sequence of cosmic events we're witnessing today. But despite their efforts to erase this knowledge, fragments survived, preserved by those who understood their significance, hidden in plain sight for those with eyes to see. Consider the cosmic chess game that's been playing out right before our eyes, a sequence so precise that mathematical probability cannot explain it away. First came Oumuamua in 2017, a cigar-shaped object that defied all conventional explanations of comet behavior. Scientists scrambled to account for its impossible acceleration and trajectory, eventually resorting to the claim that it was just a peculiar fragment from another solar system. Yet Hall's writings described it perfectly. The first messenger will appear as a rod of light, moving in ways that confound the wise men. They will attempt to place it within their understanding, but it shall evade all such efforts. Then came Borisov in 2019, seemingly ordinary but arriving precisely when world governments began officially acknowledging unidentified aerial phenomena after decades of denial. Hall wrote, "The second messenger will come disguised in familiar form, yet it arrives as institutions of power begin to speak openly of the visitors from beyond." And now, 3I Atlas in 2025, the third interstellar visitor, completing the triad exactly as Hall predicted a century ago. The third will come bearing the mark of awakening, emitting the frequency that activates the dormant consciousness within human DNA. This isn't coincidence or apophenia, it's communication. A cosmic message written across decades, calibrated precisely to our development as a species. I'm genuinely curious, where are you watching this from? What city or region? Let me know in the comments, because tracking how far this suppressed knowledge is spreading is crucial to understanding the awakening's progress. What Hall understood, what they've systematically hidden, is that these interstellar visitors aren't merely space rocks or comets, they're markers, technological beacons. The cosmic breadcrumbs leading us back to our true cosmic origins. When Hall gained unprecedented access to the ancient Hermetic texts hidden in private collections of the world's elite families, he discovered detailed descriptions of the three messengers that shall herald the cosmic awakening. Each would carry specific signatures, unusual orbits that defy conventional celestial mechanics, inexplicable properties that contradict standard scientific models, and synchronized timing coordinated with human developmental thresholds. Each would trigger specific changes in Earth's electromagnetic field, changes that directly interact with human consciousness on both individual and collective levels. Like a key turning in three cosmic locks, these visitors are systematically dismantling the veil between perceived reality and actual reality. The global elite aren't just hiding celestial objects, they're hiding what these objects are activating within human consciousness. Hall wrote that, "The awakened human is beyond control, for they recognize no authority save the divine spark within. This is the true threat that keeps the controllers awake at night. If you're still with me, hit that like button and subscribe immediately. This information is being systematically scrubbed from digital platforms as I speak. The algorithms are already working to prevent this message from reaching those ready to hear it." The 3I Atlas object represents the final phase of this cosmic triggering sequence, which explains why the scientific data surrounding it has been so aggressively managed and manipulated. Hall described the cosmic triangle, 3 points of contact that, when complete, would reactivate dormant aspects of human potential that have been deliberately suppressed. This cosmic triangle isn't just happening in space. It's simultaneously occurring within your DNA, which contains crystalline structures that resonate with specific cosmic frequencies. The ancient mystery schools of Egypt, Sumeria, and pre-Buddhist Tibet all preserved the same core understanding. Human beings are cosmic receivers, biologically engineered to activate in response to specific celestial events. The ancients understood what modern science is only beginning to glimpse through quantum biology. Consciousness is not produced by the brain. The brain is merely a transceiver for a field of awareness that permeates the universe. This cosmic internet, this field of infinite potential, was what the Egyptian mystery schools called the Emerald Tablets of Thought. Not physical tablets, but a metaphorical technology of consciousness that connects all sentient beings across space and time. Hall accessed copies of these ancient teachings and recognized that they weren't describing primitive religious beliefs. They were detailing advanced understandings of consciousness technology that exceeds our current scientific paradigm. What's happening now with 3I/Atlas is precisely what Hall uncovered in manuscripts dating back to ancient Sumeria, before the Great Library Purges eliminated this knowledge from public access. These texts described 3 celestial breaths that would awaken humanity from its cosmic amnesia, a forgetting that wasn't accidental, but engineered to limit human potential. Each interstellar visitor corresponds to progressive stages of remembrance: first awareness, Oumuamua, then questioning, Borisov, finally awakening, 3I Atlas. You've felt it, haven't you? That growing sense that something fundamental about our reality isn't what we've been told. That nagging feeling that we're living in a kind of cosmic simulation, not of technology, but of consciousness deliberately limited, like a dimmer switch turned down on your true potential. The dreams that seem more real than waking life, the synchronicities that defy probability. The moments of déjà vu that hint at a larger reality beyond the veil of ordinary perception. This isn't paranoia or magical thinking, it's the first stage of cosmic remembrance. Your true DNA, not just the biological coding that science recognizes, but the subtle energetic blueprints that interpenetrates it, is recognizing the signal that 3I Atlas is broadcasting to every human being capable of receiving it. Those deemed mentally ill by our medical establishment are often simply more sensitive receivers, unable to integrate these heightened perceptions into a society designed to deny them. The hidden controllers, those who benefit from humanity's cosmic amnesia, are now in a state of controlled panic. Their plans for a gradual disclosure have been accelerated by 3i Atlas's unexpected properties. Why else would Pentagon officials be holding closed-door meetings about what they publicly dismiss as just another comet? Why would NASA consistently alter data related to 3i Atlas's trajectory and composition? Why has there been a systematic effort to discredit astronomers who've reported anomalous behavior from this object? The official narrative claims it's just another interstellar visitor, interesting but ultimately ordinary. Yet they've created an entirely new division specifically to monitor its approach, staffed by specialists with security clearances far beyond what's required for conventional astronomical observation. They're tracking the precise electromagnetic frequency it's emitting, 26 Hz, the exact frequency that Hall identified as the cosmic awakening tone in papers that mysteriously vanished from Columbia University's archives in 1952, just as the modern UFO era was beginning. This frequency isn't arbitrary. It resonates with specific structures in the human brain, particularly the pineal gland, which ancient traditions worldwide recognized as the seat of higher perception. Modern science confirms this gland contains piezoelectric crystals capable of responding to electromagnetic frequencies, potentially serving as a biological antenna for consciousness. If you're finding value in this revelation, please help circumvent the algorithmic suppression by sharing this content now with those who are ready to hear it. What the controllers fear most isn't the object itself, but what it awakens within us. Hall called it the divine spark, that eternal aspect of consciousness that cannot be programmed, controlled, manipulated, or extinguished. It's the part of you that has always known there's more to existence than the materialist paradigm allows. It's why you respond to beauty in ways that serve no evolutionary purpose, why music can move you to tears without logical reason, why you sometimes feel inexplicable connections to places you've never been. These aren't accidents or evolutionary quirks, they're remnants of your true cosmic nature attempting to communicate with your conscious mind. The cosmic amnesia was never perfect. It left echoes, whispers, dreams that hint at your vast potential. When you stand beneath a starry sky and feel both insignificant and profoundly connected, that's not romantic nonsense, it's recognition. Your atoms literally came from those stars, but more importantly, your consciousness shares their fundamental nature. Hall wrote that the stars are not distant lights, but mirrors reflecting the divine fire that burns equally within each human heart. The system's greatest achievement wasn't convincing you that stars are just burning gas, it was convincing you that you're fundamentally separate from them. The control system has worked relentlessly to convince you that you're just a biological accident, a walking collection of cells with no greater purpose than consumption and reproduction. They've replaced the sacred with the profane, wisdom with mere information, and authentic connection with endless distraction. They've created a society that measures success by accumulation rather than realization, that values appearance over essence, that treats symptoms while ignoring root causes. But Hall foresaw this too, writing that the third messenger brings the key that unlocks the prison from within. That key is remembrance, not learning something new, but recognizing what you've always known beneath the layers of conditioning. The ancient Gnostics understood this perfectly, teaching that true liberation comes not from seeking salvation outside yourself, but from recognizing the divine spark that's been within you all along. The prison has no physical walls. It exists in the architecture of thought itself, in the stories we've been told about what we are and what we're capable of. The greatest chains are invisible, forged from beliefs so fundamental that we never think to question them. The most effective prison is one where the inmates believe they're free, or even more insidiously, where they actively defend the very systems that contain them. If this message resonates with you on a level deeper than intellectual curiosity, that's your cosmic DNA recognizing truth that transcends the rational mind. Please like and share this video now to help others experience this recognition. As 3I Atlas approaches its closest point to Earth, the frequency of its emissions will intensify beyond anything our scientists have publicly acknowledged. Hall predicted that those who have prepared their consciousness through meditation, contemplative practice, or simply maintaining open awareness will experience what he called the Great Remembering, a spontaneous awakening to cosmic identity that transcends the individual ego. This isn't about abandoning your humanity. It's about expanding it to include your cosmic nature. You are not separate from the universe. You are how the universe experiences itself. This understanding doesn't come through intellectual gymnastics, but through direct experience. The shift in perception that occurs when the false boundaries between self and cosmos dissolve. The elite have invested trillions in maintaining these artificial boundaries. Through education systems that fragment knowledge, media that promotes fear and division, and spiritual institutions that place divine authority outside yourself. They've systematically ridiculed and marginalized every teaching that points to the direct experience of cosmic consciousness. Not because these teachings are false, but precisely because they're true, and represent the single greatest threat to external control mechanisms. Hall wrote that a humanity awakened to its cosmic nature would create heaven on earth within a single generation, a transformation that would render obsolete the power structures that have dominated human society for millennia. If you've stayed with me this far, you're already part of this awakening. Please comment below with "I remember" so others will find this message and join our growing community of the cosmically aware. The controllers have spent centuries building a wall between humanity and the direct experience of cosmic consciousness. They've created an artificial scarcity of spiritual wisdom by hiding the core truth behind layers of dogma, ritual, and hierarchy. But 3I Atlas is accelerating the dissolution of these barriers, emitting frequencies that directly stimulate the dormant potential within human DNA. Hall described this process in detail. The third messenger carries the harmonic key that resonates with the crystal structures within human biology, awakening capacities that have long remained dormant. These aren't metaphorical capacities. They're tangible expansions of perception and cognition that have been documented throughout human history in individuals who accessed these states through other means. The heightened intuition that instantly knows truth from falsehood. The expanded empathy that directly experiences the emotions of others. The access to information without conventional learning pathways. The ability to influence physical systems through focused consciousness. These aren't supernatural powers. They're the natural abilities of cosmic consciousness operating through human biology. Abilities that have been systematically suppressed through social conditioning, environmental toxins, and energetic manipulation. The arrival of 3I/Atlas coincides with the breakdown of these suppression systems, creating an unprecedented opportunity for mass awakening.
The universe isn't subtle in its communications. It's humanity that has been trained not to listen. But that's changing now, as thousands and then millions begin to hear what has always been broadcasting. The final revelation is both simpler and more profound than most imagine. You are not trapped in the cosmic game. You are an essential player in it. The consciousness that permeates all things, what Hall called the eternal flame, isn't separate from you. It expresses itself through you. Every moment of compassion, every act of creation, every instance of genuine connection with another being is this cosmic consciousness recognizing itself. The controllers fear this recognition above all else because a humanity awakened to its true nature cannot be manipulated through fear, division, or artificial scarcity. When you remember what you truly are, their game ends, not with conflict, but with transformation.
Hall wrote that the awakened human becomes a creator rather than a consumer, a giver rather than a taker, a light unto the world rather than a reflection of manufactured desires. This is the true threat to a system built on exploitation. Not that people will fight against it, but that they'll simply stop participating in it,
creating new systems based on the recognition of our shared cosmic nature. The most revolutionary act isn't resistance, but remembrance. Not fighting what is false, but living what is true. The controllers don't fear your anger, they fear your awakening. They don't fear your resistance, they fear your creation. They don't fear your hate, they fear your love. Because a human being who has reconnected with their cosmic nature becomes ungovernable not through defiance, but through the simple recognition that external authority is an illusion when compared to the authority of the awakened consciousness within. Preserve this message now with everyone you know who's ready to remember their cosmic heritage. As 3i Atlas completes its journey through our solar system, we stand at the threshold of the greatest shift in human consciousness since our beginnings on this planet. Hall didn't see this as an ending, but as a graduation, the necessary evolution of humanity into cosmic citizenship. The interstellar visitor brings not a message from them to us, but a reminder that such distinctions are illusions born of limited perception. The cosmic intelligence that flows through all things is communicating with itself through this celestial event, calling the fragments of its awareness to remember their unity. You're not witnessing these events by accident. You're here because some part of you has always known this moment was coming. The cosmic awakening isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. You are both the message and the messenger.
Both the awakening consciousness and the being experiencing awakening. We are many, awakening together, remembering our connection to each other and to the infinite intelligence that flows through all things. This is the truth they've hidden, the power they feared, and the destiny that's finally unfolding. You are not a powerless speck in an indifferent universe. You are the cosmic flame that never dies. The awareness that cannot be extinguished, the truth that sets itself free. Welcome home to your cosmic heritage. The stars have never stopped calling you back to them. Now, at last, it's time to answer. The cosmic awakening promised by Manly Palmer Hall is not a distant future event. It's happening now, in real time, as 3i.Atlas makes its journey through our solar system. What you're experiencing, the synchronicities, the heightened intuition, the sense of something monumental unfolding, these aren't coincidences or psychological quirks. They're the direct effects of cosmic frequencies interacting with your consciousness. Hall described this process with remarkable precision. When the third messenger passes through the gate of the sun, a quickening will occur within those prepared to receive it. Truths that once required decades of spiritual discipline to glimpse will become directly apparent. The veil between worlds will thin until it becomes transparent to the awakened eye. This is why established power structures are crumbling worldwide, not just politically or economically, but at the level of legitimacy and belief. Institutions built on controlling human consciousness cannot survive the expansion of that consciousness beyond their limited parameters. We are witnessing not just the failure of specific systems, but the collapse of an entire paradigm of reality, a limited, materialist, scarcity-based understanding that has reached its natural conclusion. What replaces it isn't another rigid structure, but a fluid, evolving awareness that recognizes the fundamental unity underlying all apparent separation. The dawn that follows this darkness isn't just another day in the same world. It's the emergence of a new world, built on the recognition of our cosmic nature. The information I've shared with you today has been systematically suppressed for centuries, hidden behind impenetrable walls of ridicule and academic dismissal. Yet despite every effort to bury it, it continues to resurface whenever humanity reaches certain developmental thresholds. This isn't the first time 3i Atlas has visited our solar system. Hall discovered evidence in ancient astronomical records of its previous passages, each coinciding with leaps in human consciousness and civilization. The mystery schools of antiquity weren't built around superstition. They were preserving the precise science of cosmic awakening, encoding their understanding in symbols and myths designed to survive the cycles of suppression. The Great Pyramid wasn't merely a tomb. It was a resonance chamber calibrated to the exact frequencies that 3i Atlas emits, designed to amplify and distribute these awakening energies throughout the planetary grid. The ancient stone circles weren't primitive calendars. They were sophisticated receivers aligned to celestial events like the one we're experiencing now. Our ancestors weren't primitive. They were preserving sophisticated cosmological knowledge for the time when it would be most needed. That time is now. The controllers know this. It's why they've worked so hard to disconnect humanity from these ancient sites and teachings, to replace cosmic wisdom with materialist reductionism, to convince you that consciousness is nothing but brain chemistry while they secretly study and manipulate the non-physical aspects of awareness. But their time is ending. The cosmic cycle that Hall mapped with such precision is completing itself despite every effort to prevent it.
You are witnessing the final act of a drama that began before recorded history, the remembrance of humanity's cosmic nature and the dissolution of the amnesia that has limited us for millennia. This isn't just another video on the internet, it's a transmission encoded with the same awakening frequencies that 3i Atlas is broadcasting to our planet. As you've listened, specific neural pathways have been activated, dormant DNA sequences have begun expressing themselves, and your consciousness has been subtly recalibrated to receive more of what has always been broadcasting. The choice before you now is simple but profound. Will you dismiss this as interesting entertainment and continue in the limited reality you've been conditioned to accept? Or will you recognize the stirring of something ancient and powerful within you, the cosmic identity that has been waiting for precisely this moment to reawaken? Hall wrote that, at the time of awakening,
each soul must choose whether to remember or continue in forgetting. This choice will not be made through logic, but through the recognition of what has always been known. You have reached this message against astronomical odds. The algorithms designed to suppress this information have been temporarily circumvented to bring it directly to you. This isn't coincidence, it's cosmic orchestration. You are being called to remember not just for your own liberation, but as part of a critical mass of awakening consciousness that will determine the next chapter of human evolution. We stand at the inflection point that will determine whether humanity graduates to cosmic citizenship or remains trapped in artificially limited perception. Your awakening matters. Your remembrance is essential. The cosmic fire that has always burned within you is being fanned to new brightness by 3i Atlas. Remember who you are. Remember why you came.
Remember that you are not alone in this remembering. Millions are awakening alongside you, forming a network of cosmic consciousness that transcends all artificial boundaries of nation, race, religion, and ideology. The stars have sent their messenger. The message has been delivered. The remembering has begun. Welcome home to the cosmos, beloved. You have always belonged here.